here, that journey took on Instagram. I just noticed the other day when I had my little temper tantrum, a piece fell off the microphone. It will turn up. It's just a little knob. Don't ask what that was about. But let me just say, let's start out with the spiel, right? Don't forget to hit the like button. Today, the like button is going to stay home and take messages for me from all the people that are trying to get a hold of me for a new job. No, just kidding. Please consider subscribing and don't forget to ring the notification bell because you don't want to miss a single episode. You never know when I'm going to go live. But today we need to talk about crafting and crime because I'm going to be late for work. So we're going to make this a quick episode. So first, let me just say, the weekend went okay. It really did. I had a great live yesterday. Just, I can't get rid of the anxiety. It's still here. I'm like, my heart's, whenever I lay down, my mind goes back to Friday and I'm overthinking it and thinking about all the ways to resolve it and options. And I think I've reached a conclusion, but I'm not there yet. I still have to talk to the psychiatrist to see if they're going to go along with it. But I'm thinking short-term disability and then perhaps long-term disability. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, my mind just went totally blank. But yeah, it's a new week. So, and someone did ask me, have I been putting money in the bank? Yes, I have. I haven't always gotten it on camera, but I've been pretty consistent each week. Maybe not with the right amount. I think last week I put $15 in. So this week we'll put 16 in. So I went yesterday and I got some cash while I was at the grocery store buying my ice cream. My sister's like, where did you go? I said, I went to buy cigarettes. She looked at me, she goes, okay, where are they? I said, no, ice cream, my form of cigarettes. They're in the freeze. It's in the freezer. So I love and this, when I'm stressed, this works perfectly. The Magnum, the little tubs of Magnum, they're not little, but calorie-wise, they're not little. Physical-wise, they're little. And they're coated in chocolate. You have to break the chocolate to get to the ice cream. Oh my God, so satisfying. But then after that, the anxiety comes right back. But anyway, and I also started playing this game that I absolutely love, Ark Survival Evolved on Xbox. I've been playing that for like 10 years. And they came out with a new island, and I'm like, oh, I watched somebody on YouTube play the other day, and he's like, Rebecca, come on, come back. And I'm like, oh, it's huge time commitment. And I'm like, and then I did it. So, because everybody in the chat was like, no, Rebecca, you have to come back. And I'm like, oh. So I went on my friend's island that I always play on, and which is called Crystal Isles, and I picked up some of my favorite dinosaurs, and I thought, I'm just going to take them over to the new island. But I don't remember how to do that. So I'm trying to get her to come into the chat with me and tell me how to do that. But anyway, that's where I am. And I'm just doing it at night for a little while. Just like very limited time. This is a game that I used to play 10, 12 hours a day. But no. Don't have that kind of time. So last night, I was listening to the trial and working on my bookshelf, my temperature cross-stitch bookshelf. And no, I'm not diamond painting right now because I'm pressed for time and I don't feel like getting it out. I got the pens. So we'll just chit-chat. But so I'm watching the trial last night and oh my God. Hold on first. Oh, it didn't work. What? Oh, you know why? Because I have the microphone plugged in. Hold on. Let's see if it works now. Oh, okay, well, we don't have the button today. Anyway, crafting and crime daily. Think of the music behind me. Do, 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 do. Okay, there it goes. So, in the trial of Theodore Edgecombe, oh my God. Now, the trial is not that interesting. Like, the subject matter of the trial is not that interesting. It's a guy on a bike who got mad at a guy in a car and shot him in the face and killed him. But this judge is a piece of work. I don't mind saying it. I usually try to stick up for judges. I've never seen a judge this bad. Oh my God. I don't mean bad like his decisions are bad, but just mean as all get out. Just like, who pissed in your Cheerios kind of mean, you know? Really. So, and so biased against the defendant. I mean, for sure, he's going to get a new trial. This is a freebie. It's a freebie for him because this judge has just bought this guy a new trial, especially after what I witnessed yesterday during the testimony. Oh my God. So, so the first week, the prosecution brings in a prisoner and as a witness. But the reason he's a prisoner is because they didn't think he would respond to a subpoena. Now, I don't know what gave them that impression that if they subpoenaed him, he wouldn't come to court. But they go out and they arrest him under a warrant to get him to come testify. So he has been sitting in the jail waiting to testify. That is the only reason this man is in jail, is because he was a witness to this crime and they wanted to make sure that he showed up for jail. And yes, he's a black man and the prosecutor is a white man. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but for some reason the prosecutor had a very good reason to believe this guy was not going to show up. And frankly, I think the prosecution probably wishes he hadn't shown up because the testimony was not really favorable to the prosecution. He was going to help the other guy. And why wouldn't he, you know? Anyway, so he was in a vehicle that was behind the Kia. So Evangeline Clearmore was driving the vehicle. Her husband was a passenger. So this gentleman, this witness, was behind that vehicle. So, you know, they pull up to this light, the bicycle comes along, they have this altercation at the window, and Theodore Edgecombe punches him. So this guy witnesses the whole thing, and he testifies to exactly what we've seen in the video. You know, that the bicycle came along. He did not hear any of the conversation. The guy punches him through the window and then takes off. So he was going to continue going east or westbound. I forget which, but instead he decides he's going to turn north because he wants to see where this is going. Like, he's like, oh, it's going down. So he turns to see what's going to happen. And so he sees them both, you know, he sees the guy get off his bicycle. He describes that. He sees the guy get out of the car. And then he sees the gunshot. So he kept going because he couldn't hold up traffic, but he turned around, made a U-turn, and came back. And then testified that he had gone up to the body to see if there was anything that he could do. He actually called 911 and got them to come out there. That was his testimony. But he testified that Jason Clearman backed the bicyclist into a corner and he was in like a fighting stance. Now, he had some word for it, some slang that I didn't understand, and the prosecutor had to explain it. But he really made Jason Clearmore out to be the aggressor. He said he backed this guy into a corner, and then the guy reaches behind his back and pulls out a weapon and shoots him in the face. Now, again, he could not hear the conversation. He's back in his vehicle. He didn't hear any of the conversation. But I don't think that helped the prosecution at all, that Jason was being the aggressor. Now, he did say he did not see any weapons that Jason might have had, but it's dark. He's in a vehicle. He's probably at least 25, 30 feet away or more. But he saw what he saw. So that was his testimony. Then we get the testimony of Evangeline Clearmore. Now, the judge says, prior to this testimony, during this testimony, no one will enter or leave this courtroom. That is my order. And he tells the bailiff, he says, I want you to guard the door. No one goes in or out during this woman's testimony. Okay. So she proceeds to testify. And so she says that, you know, her husband was an immigration lawyer and she worked with him. I don't know what she was doing with him, but she worked with him. They'd been married for 23 years. And she said that day, he said he had had a particularly good day and they were going to stop at this a bar that one of their relatives owned in this section of town. So they go there. She has a glass of wine. He has 3 beers. And then later on during cross-examination, it becomes 3 or 4 beers, maybe a shot. No, she didn't know if he did any shots. And apparently the medical examiner found traces of THC metabolites in his blood. And she said, no, he occasionally smoked marijuana for back pain. No, he didn't have a prescription. And no, she never saw him do it. So who knows? But anyway, he let her drive. And the process during the defense's cross-examination, he kept harping on, you know, the legal limit of alcohol is 0.08. And finally, the judge says, listen, the legal limit if you're driving is 0.08. Let's get this clear. And that's just the way he says it. He is not a nice person, this judge. And every time, like, they want to enter something into evidence or they want to publish something to the jury, he's like, fine, fine, fine. Like, oh my God. Like, he just doesn't want to be bothered. Fine. It's so weird. So 3 or 4 beers. So she says, he said, honey, why don't you drive? You know, because she drove that a lot. She said we only had 1 vehicle. Now, why is an immigration lawyer driving a Kia and he only has 1 vehicle? They must not make much money. I don't know, but okay. Yeah, so she's driving and she describes that this bicycle comes up between 2 cars and all of a sudden is in front of her on her right side. So she has to swerve to miss him. And at that point, her husband says, what the heck? And the prosecution's like, are you sure that's what he should? Oh yeah, that's what I remember. What the heck? Who says that? Who's had 3 or 4 beers? Even if you haven't had 3 or 4 beers and you're swerving to miss a bicycle, you don't go, oh, what the heck? Oh my God. And so he impeaches her. He has to, because if he doesn't, the defense attorney will. And they show body cam where she's on the phone talking to one of her relatives, and he's like, what the fuck? So it wasn't what the heck. But anyway, so they swerved to miss this guy. And she also says that during this body cam video where she's on the phone, she says that he called him an effing asshole. Now on the stand, she does not remember him saying anything but what the heck. So they continue on their way, and then when they get to this light, they stop, and all of a sudden here comes this bicycle again, and the guy pulls up and he says, are you talking to me? You know, and they had their windows about halfway rolled down, and the guy says, yes. That's what she remembers him saying. Yes, I was, you know, yes. Which is not what she told her friend, he said. And then, anyway, expletives were exchanged. He punches him. The glasses go flying over to her side of the vehicle. Apparently he cannot see without these glasses. So she's reaching down trying to get the glasses. He's saying, oh my God, I'm bleeding. And So, and the bicycle just continues on its way. Now, so at this point, you see in the surveillance video that Jason's door opens, like right as after he's punched, that door opens. But then it closes because his wife's proceeding on. The light had turned. She's like, I didn't want to hold up traffic. So she's proceeding on. And he says, follow him. I want to talk to him. So she makes the turn to go north, and she pulls over to, because the guy has gotten off the bicycle, she pulls over. Her husband gets out of the vehicle to go talk to him. And so she watches him go up there and trying to talk to him, and all of a sudden she gets shot in the face. So at this point, she is like hysterical. So she gets out of her vehicle, she goes up to her husband's body, and she wanted to hold him, but he'd been shot in the face. She says, there's no way I could hold him. He was on his side, kind of face down. So instead, she said, she went through his pockets to find his wallet, because she needed something to hold on to. And the defense lawyer was saying, what was in this wallet? And she's like, credit cards. And he's like, so you needed to hold on to credit cards? She's like, no, the wallet. And he's like, what else is in this? And she's like, well, his ID and his work stuff. And he's like, so you needed to hold on to that stuff? And she's like, no, I needed to hold on to the wallet. A simple leather wallet. It was weird testimony. Very weird. She was making her husband out to be just as sweet and nice. And he's like, he wouldn't hurt a fly. He's a very, he's into conflict resolution. He doesn't create conflict. Well, I don't know what he thought he was going to resolve by getting out of that vehicle, but it didn't end in his favor. So she's not crying or anything at the scene. And she even says to the police officer, why am I not crying? But then they show 10 minutes later, she's bawling. She's screaming, crying, And he says to her, you're in shock. And I believe that. She probably was in shock. So let's get to the lawyer. The lawyer, oh my God. The judge. So the prosecution finishes their examination of the wife. And he says, okay, defense, your turn. And the defense lawyer says, can I have a couple of minutes? And he goes, no, why? What do you need a couple minutes for? And he says, I need my paralegal she's locked outside. And he goes, well, that's too bad. I said nobody could go in or out. And he's like, and thank God he needed to make this record, so he had to continue, because, man, if that judge had talked to me that way, I'd be cowering under the desk. So he says, listen, she left the courtroom before you gave that order, and she can't get back in, and I've asked her to bring me make copies of some documents. So finally the judge says, fine, and then 2 minutes, and then he excuses the jury, and the paralegal comes in and hands out what she's got copies of. So 2 minutes passes, they come back, jury comes back, and no, I don't think the jury was back yet. I don't know. I'm gonna have to I don't think he did this in front of the jury. So the prosecution says, Your Honor, I've just been handed 2 screenshots from a Facebook. And they purport, and the judge is like, Facebook? Wait a minute, where did this come from? And the defense lawyer says, it's from defense counsel. Yes, but who? Who did that? And he's like, defense counsel did it. And he's like, no, I want a name. Who looked up on Facebook? Who brought Facebook in here? And he says, my paralegal. And I think he named her. And he's like, she's out of here. She has just made herself a witness to this case, and she is banned from this courtroom. Get her out of here right now. Then he says, this is the second time she pretended to be a cop. I don't know what that's all about. And now she's made herself a witness by pulling information off of Facebook. I do not want her in this courtroom for the remainder of this trial. Sidebar. So he says, quick sidebar. So they all go sidebar. Super quick. I don't know what he said to them, but it was real quick. Then he gets back and sits down on the bench and continues. So he's going, what's the relevance of this? And they try to describe that it's Jason Clearman next to this picture of a gorilla, and he's saying that nobody likes him, and but his wife likes him. I don't know. It was weird. And he says, I don't see the relevance. He goes, Facebook is the downfall of society. I'm not on Facebook. And this is a guy, like, I literally, somebody pissed in his Cheerios. Like, he's got a cucumber where the sun don't shine, because, man, he is, I'm just saying, I've never seen anything like it. So these poor defense guys, they just do not stand a chance. So now their paralegal is banned from the courtroom because you've got 3 people at that table. You don't need any more people. So, and he denied, you will not put Facebook. No, denied. Get rid of that. It's not coming in here. Yeah. So they didn't allow the Facebook to come in. I didn't understand it anyway. I don't know if the jury would have understood it. They're just trying to make him, the point was she was trying to paint him as this passive guy into conflict resolution, and here he's representing himself on Facebook as this mean, tough guy nobody likes, so I guess that was the point. I don't know. So anyway, I'm going to continue. I didn't finish watching the rest of her testimony, but the defense attorney was kind of getting into the minutia of each little detail of what happened that night and trying to get her to remember each little detail, which she really can't. She kept saying, I'm not sure. I'm in shock. She's, yeah. So I'm just trying to see if I missed anything. I don't think so. I think this is going to be a very quick trial. This judge is moving things along. He's got things to do, places to be, I guess, because fine, next witness, fine. If you could, yeah, you might have to watch it for a little while to see his demeanor, but it is the worst demeanor I have ever seen in a judge. And the jury is witnessing this demeanor. Like, they were in the courtroom when that defense attorney asked for the break. And he's like, why do you need a break? Haven't you had enough breaks? And the guys, can we go sidebar? No, you've had enough sidebars. Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. So, I'm going to head to work, guys. Short show today. I do apologize. My alarm clock went off at 6:30, and I pushed the button and lay there and thought, I need to stop thinking. I can't turn my brain off, and then my heart starts racing. I just got to stop doing that. So, of course, I had turned it off, went off again. Finally, the cats have learned a new trick. They now know how to open my door. If I shut the door, they have figured out how to open it. Yes. So they opened it and came in, and they're climbing all over me. And then I got to get a shower. And I wanted to look up those wedding photos because, the Zoom wedding from Saturday. Yeah, I totally missed it because she did say to me, it's 2:00. Okay, and so I had 2:00 on the brain, completely forgetting that she lives on Eastern time. I am on Central time. So I'm an hour late by the time I turn the Zoom on. Wedding's over. So I'm looking for pictures today, and I did find them. Oh my God, she was gorgeous. She had the most beautiful dress on, and it was a wedding in a park. She's Jehovah's Witness, so I don't know if they have church weddings, and I wasn't sure what kind of wedding this was going to be, if it was going to be a church wedding, or if there was going to be a hall somewhere, or, but it was outdoors in a park. It was beautiful. Gorgeous, but you could tell it was really cold. She lives in North Florida, so you could tell they were having a really cold day on Saturday. So, and I did see my brother in one of the photos, who apparently when she walked down the aisle, she had my brother on one side, her biological father, and the father that kind of really raised her, that's married to her mom now. They both walked her down the aisle. I thought that was beautiful. Never saw my mother in any of the photos, but that doesn't mean she wasn't there. But in the state that I was in over the weekend, it's probably a good thing I didn't see my mother, because that would have just put me over the edge. And I was like right on the edge all weekend, right here on the edge. Yeah, I would have jumped. I would have just, psh, I'm off. I'm done. I give up. I'm out of here. Yeah. So, guys, have a great Monday. And I got a lot of stuff to catch up on tonight with the Ticket to Ride. Guys, I hope you watched yesterday's meet and greet with sponsor number 4, Pam Wilson of Wilson 3D Designs. She is offering 30% off with the code THANKS30. And she's got some fantastic stuff in her shop. You guys got to see it. Watch the show. She went through all the stuff. She gave away this pen holder that was beautiful. I don't even remember who won, but oh, what a great gift. Yeah. So take care. Have a great day. And I will see you tomorrow morning in Crafting and Crime. Bye.